What's up everybody, welcome to Balkan Moto. Today we're going to continue to explore the Acton Trails. We find ourselves at the gas station across the street from the Acton Arena where we usually start, and we're going to head that way into the Acton Trails. In this episode I'm going to show you yet another loop that one could do in that area, as well as we're going to go into some of the more advanced sections on the south side of the trail. So let's get going. Okay. So this first loop that we're gonna do is actually pretty easy. I'd rank it probably same level as the other two loops. Beginner to beginner intermediate, nothing crazy. And it actually incorporates the straights over here and comes out right here. So let's get going and I'll show you. The surface today is actually pretty good, not too dry, not too wet, so I'm hoping we get some decent riding conditions throughout. So this was the straight, fairly wide leg of the loop, and this is where the other part of it begins, where we go over here. I probably should have taken that a little bit earlier. So this loop is a little bit more single trail oriented. There's some shortcut through there that some of the dirt riders in this area have been taking, or creating rather, trying to avoid this mud pit and slightly more challenging bit. But honestly, it's not that bad. Thankfully today it's dry, so we're not going to get a ton of mud. Oh, trees. If you're not careful, you will get whacked. I think that was another shortcut. Okay, let's slow down on this loose rock here. Another low-hanging branch. Here, it's gonna get a little bit more single track-ish, or rather, pick a track-ish. And here we're coming out onto the farm field where we're looping back towards where we came from, which is right here. And back the way we came. So that's a nice little third loop. Now let's go through here again and get to the other end of the main path, where we're going to take some of the more challenging bits. Confidence is definitely growing with riding off-road, especially these like relatively easy tracks. But I'll show you where I'm still definitely not confident. Okay, so here I get a little bit of rear brake going, slow this down. Okay. Okay, here through the deep, whoa, deep sand. Okay, we're through. And now this is the challenging bit. Like I talked about in the last Acton Trails video, this area is a bit of a bitch. And that's because it's very dug out and it's full with really soft sand. That's actually quite deep. So pretty much the way I get down it is sit down, as you can see, and waddle. The 2 times I've gone down here standing up, the first time was just a completely uncontrollable mess where I was just like, you know, Jesus take the wheel, not properly braking. I had ABS on, and the second time I crashed and broke my bike. So for now it's waddling down. Okay, and this is the spot where we can get going again. So I'll show you what it looks like, but essentially that turn that we see ahead, we're actually gonna hang a right. Oh, there's another rider. Cool. We're gonna hang a right and we're gonna go towards the hill that rider came down from. So let's get going. And here we have a big steep hill. Consistency gets you to the top. Okay, before we keep going, let me actually show you a little bit of what this area is like. Okay, that's a little bit loose. We're gonna go that way, but before we do, this is what this area looks like. So we came from down there, so up there. I'll show you what this is. This leads back to the farm field up top, and is actually just follow the farm field back to kind of where that main turn where it splits off to come here is. Down to the right is kind of like what you saw that left turn going over there. It's a massive sand pit. Well, not massive, but just past the orange tree there's a big sandy section from where you can either go straight into the forest. One side I believe leads to the ridge and the other side heads towards the old quarry, both of which are kind of outside of my expertise today, so we're going to avoid them. As for this, let me show you what this looks like, because that's a whole different kind of beast. And actually, let me move my bike, because given that rider was here, it's not unlikely that he will be back. A little better, and probably hard to get out of, but okay. Now, let's take a look at this. So this area, this is all fine. I could probably make it through. But the area past this is where the trap is. And I'll show it to you from the other side as well. So if we were to come up here, all nice, all easy. That goes God knows where. And then we have this, either this mega steep drop, which could be a very big fail, or this massive washout, which is an equal fail. Because you have a choice, either go into that, which even if you waddle all the way down, it's mega steep, and I think I'm actually going to bottom out. Like my bike is too wide for that. And then this is just craziness, and then at the bottom you have sand. So definitely out of one, my abilities, and two, my desire to have these abilities. This is kind of more in the realm of hard enduro and having specialized bike. This might be an option to get down, but for another day. Okay, so we're gonna go that way, end up on the road, and I'll show you what that looks like from the bottom, and then we'll actually come back and ride back to the way we came. Okay. Alright, let's get going. All this stuff off. So this first little bit here, there's a part with a bit of a descent, kind of like that treacherous sandy pit where I prefer to sit down rather than stand, but I'll show it to you now. It's right here, just because this is I don't want to end up on my side going down this hill. Okay. And this is the last part of it, where again, if you're not careful, very easy to end up on your side. And coming out, of course, you're coming out into traffic, so don't just fly out. That's what happens when we're being dumb. So let me just show you what this looks like from the bottom, which is absolute insanity. So you can see that's the spot, and then getting out here is just insane. Like, that's not a good idea. Let's get that going. Okay. Alright, let's go back up the hill now. Hopefully I don't run into that rider, because that's going to be a fun one. Okay. Here we go. Okay, momentum up the hill and riding the wave. Okay, now for this part, very important, keep my leg on the rear brake, because that is not a fun descent. Lots of sand. Keep it slow, but keep it moving. Same thing here. Keep it moving. Same thing last time. Almost failed. And we're back. And sand riding, never fun, because it slows you down so much. Okay, I think we're gonna take a break here. Okay. I always pick the worst spots to spot. Okay. Is there any damage on the bike? Oh, a little bit. I mean, asphalt is a lot harder than dirt, but that did its job. Oh, there's that rider. Alright guys, that'll be it for this episode. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications when your videos become available. Check out balkanmoto.com, where I'll have a map of the new routes and the new loops. And stay tuned for more videos from all kinds of adventures of the Blue Donkey.